Hello, welcome back. I hope you're doing very well. I'm doing very well. My morning started off great with a medium-iced caramel macchiato, but this reading vlog is going to be a bit more stressful than my other ones because it is midterm season. I do have a computer science midterm opening up tonight, but I'm going to take it tomorrow and Saturday. But yes, so I do have midterms, but I also listen to audiobooks, so it's like I'm listening when I'm walking around or when I'm eating or just like transitioning. So I still read a lot during my midterm season and I get through a lot of books. So currently I am reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know who it's by, but it's very famous. I've been trying to read more classics, like things that have been referenced. One sec, they just turned the heater on. I've been trying to read more classics, like things that I've heard referenced a lot, so that's why I'm reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm not really vibing with it as hard, because I keep comparing it to Picture of Dorian Gray, and that one, top notch, Oscar Wilde. This one, it's kind of like if you know the plot twist, it's not as exciting. So we're following a lawyer, and one of his clients is Dr. Jekyll. And Dr. Jekyll has left all of his money to a Mr. Hyde, and he's never heard of a Mr. Hyde, or when he has heard of a Mr. Hyde, it's always tied to some sort of murderous activity, some sort of bad activity. So we know that Mr. Hyde is a bad guy. So he's trying to protect Dr. Hyde from He's trying to protect Dr. Jekyll from Mr. Hyde. Yeah. Again, I know the twist, so it's kind of just very boring. We also have one female that has been introduced so far, and she was like a maid that was a witness, and now she's gone, and so we don't really know anything about her, and she's probably not going to come back again. So it's kind of like reading about men running around London doing things. It's pretty short. I'm like an hour into it, and it's 3 hours total, so I'll probably finish it today. And then I'm thinking Kingdom of the Cursed, Carrie Maniscalco. It's the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked, and the first book was okay. I don't know, it had really good descriptions of food, but besides that, I couldn't really get into the story. But apparently the second book is really good, and it's changed from YA to new adult. So I've heard that the storytelling technique is a lot better, and it's a lot more mature. And then there's also some maybe spicy things that happen. So very exciting. So that's the plan. And then we'll tack on different books as we go along. I'll talk to you later. Good morning. It is the next day and I finished Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't really like the writing. I think it inhibited me from connecting with the characters. If we had been in Dr. Jekyll's perspective the whole time, I think I would have cared more. So I started Kingdom of the Cursed, which is the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked, and we really start off right where we left in Kingdom of the Wicked. So she's in hell with Wrath, and she's betrothed to Pride at the moment. And, the audiobook is so good. The ambiance is just really cool. Like there's creepy music and whispers all around. So if you're debating doing a physical book versus audio, 100% audio. I'm gonna keep going. I'm like 30 minutes into it, so we have a long way to go. Good evening. I am like 2 hours into the audiobook and I like it. I like being in hell, and it's cool how hell is frozen over. If hell, isn't that a saying? Wait, let me look that up. When something will never happen, they say when hell freezes over, and hell is frozen in this. I wonder if that means something. There have been some really good scenes, but I don't like the characters. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of our main character, Amelia, and we don't really know Wrath. He's just kind of grumpy in there. We're just starting to see the man behind the mask. Yeah, it's good, but I'm not obsessed with this book, but it's definitely better than the first book. Today is Saturday, and I'm 5 hours into Kingdom of the Curse. This book is taking me forever, and I think it's because I don't like it. Literally, every time I listen to it, I just feel nauseous and I get a headache, which is the feeling that I get when I'm gonna DNF a book. But I will not DNF this. I'm gonna push through, but I don't like it. like, I think that it's just leaning way too much into the new adult, where every single moment she is thinking about doing it, like with Wrath. She is just all the time thinking about it, and I don't get why. Like, there's just no real emotional connection, and it's very Poppy and Castile from Blood and Ash. And I think that book worked for me better because we got to know a little bit more about who Castile was before, and then when things went down and he got really cold, it made more sense why they had this block. Like, we never got to know Wrath, but I feel like From Blood and Ash we got to know Castile. So here's why I think they're similar. Wrath has his kingdom, and Emilia is brought into the kingdom and is kind of new to everybody, is being introduced to this whole court of people. Castile also has his own kingdom, and he brings Poppy into that world, and she's kind of different, she's an other, and the people of Castile's kingdom aren't sure how to feel about Poppy, and in the end they end up attacking her, and Castile like kills one of them for her. And in this one, Wrath also kills somebody for her. I don't know if he kills. Wait, I don't fully understand what happened. I think that Wrath stabbed the dude through the tongue, or killed him, beheaded him. Was it that he beheaded the dude and stabbed through his tongue? I don't know the logistics of what happened. It was like it went really fast. And like, I don't really care about their relationship because I don't understand why they like each other. Like, there's some sort of connection in the force field, but why? Tell me why. I want to know more. And I also want to know where this plot is going because it feels very stalled right now. Yeah, that's the dilemma. Good morning. So last night I took a pause from reading Kingdom of the Cursed because I just wasn't feeling well while I was listening to it. So I was watching this YouTube channel. Her name is Oh Hey It's McKay, and she recommended this book called Puck Me Secretly. I'll put it on the screen. And so it sounded really interesting. It's a hockey romance, and so I started it, and it is so good. Like, I'm 7 hours into it, and I started it yesterday, like 12 o'clock yesterday to today to this morning. I've been listening to it. It's like 9 o'clock right now, and I've been listening to it for the past 2 hours because it is so good and I'm so addicted. So basically, we are following Rory, and she has spent the past 4 years in college in the United States, and she's actually from Canada, where her dad owns a hockey team. And so in order for her to be able to go to school in the US, he said that she has to intern for him for a year. So she is flying back to Canada, and she is terrified of flying. So she sits down and she starts talking to the guy sitting next to her, and she's like kind of almost nervous babbling, and then the plane starts to go down, and so she starts saying that she has never peeked before. And so when they get back to the hotel, they do some stuff, and then when she wakes up, he's nowhere to be found. And then she starts her internship, and who is a hockey player on the team but this guy that she had a really amazing connection with and that she spent the night with. Oh my god, it's so angsty, and Max is so cute, and I'm having so much fun, and it's like so easy to read, and I haven't read a book that's gone this smoothly in like a month almost. So I have been really enjoying it. I'll update you later. I think today I'm just going to finish Puck Me Secretly and then maybe go back to Kingdom of the Cursed. I am headed to a sorority meeting right now, but I finished my book and I am going to give it 3.5 stars and round it up to 4. This is because it was good. It was really good. At first, I was obsessed. I was addicted to it. I loved how angsty the drama was, but then it got really weird. Like, there was a whole essay plot line, so trigger warnings for that. And then there was also, like, domestic violence for some reason was brought up, and it didn't really feel that relevant. I don't know. It just kind of everything went crazy, and it didn't need to go crazy. Max's character kind of fell apart. At first he was funny and sweet, but also stoic, and then he lost a lot of the interesting factors for me. He got kind of mopey, I I guess, towards the end. Well, he was going through some pretty tough things, but it's still just, he wasn't as fun or interesting to read about. And our main character is a little bit frustrating how much she put up with from her parents, and I felt like her parents' actions were not very realistic. There were a lot of little things that kind of bugged me, and there's a very traumatic thing that happens in the beginning of the book, and they don't really touch on that ever again. Like, or they do mention it briefly, but it's not that serious. So that's the update. I'm gonna go because I'm a bit lost. Do we remember how yesterday I said I was gonna keep going with Kingdom of the Cursed? That plan kind of went out the window, and that's okay. That's okay. So I started Archer's Voice, and it is so good. Like, I think this could be a new favorite, all-time favorite contemporary romance. I don't want to tell you the plot because I went in kind of blind. I actually thought, for some reason, I thought this was a high school romance, which is why I put off reading it for so long, but it's not, and it's new adult, and it's so good. I don't want to tell you what it's about because I think you should go in knowing nothing. Oh, but I want to tell you. Oh, so, okay. So Bree, kind of went through some traumatic things. So she is taking a road trip, and she drove like 16 hours to get to this little small town in Maine. And the romance is between her and Archer, who is a mute and kind of a recluse. No one in the town really talks to him because he's mute, and they don't really understand him. They think he's deaf. Oh, hello. I just took my development economics midterm, and it went pretty well. I already got my grade back for it because it was multiple choice. And then it's going to be based on the distribution of the class is what our final grade is going to be. So I think it has the potential to even get a higher grade because I think I could be on the higher end of the curve. But anyways, Archer's Voice. I was really obsessed with it, but now I'm kind of less obsessed. It's just very mushy, sappy, lovey-dovey. And like, they're just already together so early in the book. I'm like 75% of the way through, and they've been together for so long, and it just feels like the same thing over and over again, and I'm just kind of bored with the book, and the conversations just don't seem natural. It seems very forced. It just feels like the writing is trying too hard to make Archer seem like he's obsessed with Bree and is super into her, which, I don't know, it just feels forced, and she just keeps making the same observations about him over and over again, and kind of getting tired of it. So wow, this book, I swear, I was so loving it in the beginning, and it's like going down. It was 5 stars. I think now it's like fighting for a 4-star, but I'm leaning towards 3 stars. Ooh, but guess what? My hold on The Love Hypothesis and on Dune just came in from the library at the same time. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. These 2 books have been so hyped and all over my TikTok. I cannot wait to start The Love Hypothesis. I think I'm gonna end the vlog with Archer's Voice. As soon as I finish, I'll give an update, and then you'll hear more about The Love Hypothesis in my wrap-up, because I think I'll be able to finish it before the end of the month. I'm gonna go to my econometrics class. Run to my econometrics class. Whew, so it has been exactly a week since I started making this, and in honor of that, this is a peanut butter cup macchiato. Interesting. I normally wouldn't get this, but you can taste the chocolate and the peanut butter. Oh no, the spider kind of got messed up. There's a donut with a little munchkin on it for the spider. Taste test. Together. Oh my god, this is so good. Okay, so final thoughts on Archer's Voice. I did not like it. It was so cheesy. I kept rolling my eyes and like laughing out loud at all of these love confessions. I just could not take it at one point. She's giving her boss's husband, who is the chef at the restaurant that she works with, a piece of pumpkin pie, right? And he takes a bite and he's like, wow, this is the best pumpkin pie I've ever had. And she was like, that's his way of telling me that he loves me. And then she starts crying and says, "I love you too." And I was like, no, what? This is so weird. This is so bizarre. Yeah, this is an unpopular opinion, but I think I'm gonna give this book 2 stars. I really just didn't like it. I couldn't stand it. Maybe I'm just too cynical for this book, but I could not take it. So, all in all, my favorite book of this week was Puck Me Secretly, which I gave 3.5 stars. I actually rounded it down on Goodreads now, so I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but it's 3.5. Number 2 was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, it was spoiled by the general media for me, so I think I could have really enjoyed it, but I didn't. Well, I thought I did enjoy it, but I think that it would have been a lot better had I not known the spoiler. Number 3 was Archer's Voice, and then Kingdom of the Cursed. I don't know, hopefully I'll finish it sometime soon in the future, maybe. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was very fun to take you all through a week with me, and if you have any book recommendations, please leave them in the comments. They're always so appreciated, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!